They say weddings bring families together, but for me, it showed how far apart we'd grown. I'm Esther, born in 1952 in Traverse City, Michigan. Back in 2022, just a few weeks before my son Jason's wedding, something happened that broke my heart in silence. I felt like I had lost my place in my own family, but then something happened that reminded me who I really was. Today, at 73 in a quiet lakeside cottage, I'm finally sharing this because too many mothers suffer in silence when their sons forget where they come from. If you're listening, drop your city below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I remember when Jason told me he was getting married. His eyes sparkled like the little boy who used to chase frogs by the creek behind our old house. I was thrilled. I thought finally we can reconnect. Maybe having a family of his own will help him understand what motherhood really means. But right from the first conversation, I should have known something had changed. "Chloe and I are keeping it really simple, Mom," he said. "Nothing too traditional. We just want it to be about us." "Of course, sweetheart," I said with a smile. "Just let me know how I can help." He nodded, distracted, scrolling through his phone. That's when I noticed he wasn't really listening. I wasn't even sure if I'd been invited properly. And I was right to worry. Weeks passed. I didn't hear anything about dress fittings or rehearsal dinners. Chloe never called. Not once. No invite came in the mail. When I asked Jason about it, he said, "Oh, sorry. We just figured you'd be there. I mean, you're my mom." I showed up, of course. I found my own way to the venue, a charming glass hall near the water. I walked in, wearing the best navy blue dress I owned. No one greeted me at the door. No usher offered me a seat. Eventually, I found my name on a place card tucked on a far corner table with guests I didn't know. A retired couple from Chloe's yoga class. A man who said he worked with Jason once. I smiled through it, but my hands were trembling. He never came to my table. Not once. I watched my only son dance, laugh, take photos, and never look my way. When they cut the cake, I stood up, thinking maybe they'd call me for a photo. Nothing. Not a glance. I felt like a ghost. After the wedding, Jason invited me over for dinner. I hoped it was his way of making things right. I wore a soft lavender sweater, his favorite color, on me and baked his favorite apple pie. "Mom," he said over grilled chicken and wine Chloe poured like we were strangers at a restaurant. "We've been thinking, since you're getting older and managing things alone, maybe it's time to simplify your finances." I blinked. "What do you mean?" Jason reached for a manila envelope. "Power of attorney. Just for security. If anything ever happens to you, Chloe and I can step in and help. It's for your own peace of mind." The way Chloe nodded, silent and smiling, made my skin crawl. I didn't sign anything. That night, I went home and sat in my husband's old recliner. Mark has been gone for 5 years now. My heart missed him every single day. But at that moment, I missed his wisdom more than ever. I pulled out the wooden chest he left behind. I opened it for the first time in years, and there, tucked beneath our wedding photos, was an envelope addressed to me. I opened it with trembling fingers. "Esther," it read. "If you're reading this, I'm probably not there to warn you myself. People change when money's involved, or maybe they just reveal who they've always been. I set aside $7 million in hidden investments. It's all in your name. Do not tell anyone. Use it to protect yourself. I trust you to know what to do." My breath left my body. $7 million. My mark. Always thinking ahead. Always shielding me. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I made 2 calls. One to a woman named Margaret, a retired estate lawyer who used to help Mark with real estate paperwork. The second was to a locksmith, Margaret came to my house the next day with hot coffee and sharper instincts than anyone I'd met in a while. I handed her the letter, the files, and told her everything. "He's trying to set you up, Esther," she said plainly. "Power of attorney? That's a leash. What you need is a trustworthy, irrevocable, airtight trust." And so we did it. Within weeks, Margaret helped me move the assets into a private trust under my control. No one, not Jason, not Chloe, not even the bank manager could access anything. I also quietly updated my will. I wasn't writing Jason out, but I wasn't giving him control anymore. Respect had to be earned. The last thing I did was move. Quietly. Peacefully. Out of the old house where Jason knew every hiding place, and into a cozy white brick cottage near the local library. I didn't tell Jason. I waited. 3 weeks later he called. "Mom? Where are you? I went by the house and there's a new lock. The neighbor said you moved." "I did," I said. "Calm. Even. I needed a change." He was quiet for a moment. Then, "About that power of attorney, did you ever get a chance to sign it?" "No," I said. "But I made some other arrangements. I'm protected now." "Mom." His voice changed. Less polite. "You're not seriously listening to those old lawyer friends, are you? Chloe and I just want what's best for you." "What's best for me," I said slowly, "is learning to be alone without being controlled. I'm not angry, Jason. But I'm not blind either." He hung up without saying goodbye. It's been a year now. I joined a reading group at the library. 3 other women divorced, widowed, and one who left her kids behind because they'd stolen everything she had. We laugh a lot. We drink wine on Thursdays. We take turns reading dramatic novels out loud like we're on Broadway. Jason eventually reached out. He apologized. Sort of. Said he missed me. That he didn't mean to overstep. But trust, once cracked, isn't glued back with empty words. I told him he could visit if he wanted to really talk. Not about papers or plans, but about us. He came once. Alone. We sat on the porch. He didn't say much. Neither did I. But there was something in his eyes, like he saw me again, not as a wallet with legs, but as his mother. I don't know where we go from here. But I do know this. I didn't lose my son. I rediscovered myself. And maybe, just maybe, that's the kind of strength Mark always believed I had. I wish I could tell you that everything healed after that porch visit. Jason changed, apologized with tears in his eyes, and Chloe came with homemade cookies and asked for forgiveness. But life isn't a movie. Sometimes, the healing isn't in the reunion, it's in the boundary. Jason didn't visit again for a while. He sent a few texts, asked about my health, once offered to handle my tax filings, but I declined each time with polite firmness. I spent that season investing not in stocks or real estate, but in me. Margaret and I became close friends. She taught me how to manage the trust, pay for things quietly, and even how to donate anonymously. I funded a scholarship at the local high school for girls in tech, named it after Mark. No one knew it came from me. I started taking painting classes at the senior center and bought myself a used but lovely Yamaha keyboard. I played old hymns and jazz pieces, letting my fingers remember what joy felt like. The more I poured into myself, the more I realized I had never really lived on my own terms. I had gone from my father's house to being Mark's wife to being Jason's mother. But now, I was just Esther. And Esther was a woman learning to breathe again. I didn't hate Jason. I didn't even hate Chloe. I hated that they saw my life as something to manage instead of respect. That pain didn't turn me bitter, but it woke me up. One evening, I received a letter in the mail. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting. Jason's. "Mom," it began, "I know I hurt you. I don't know how to explain what I was thinking. Maybe I thought I was helping. Maybe I just saw the money and panicked. Chloe and I were under pressure. Debt, rent, trying to keep up with people we shouldn't even care about. But that's not your fault. It was never your problem to solve.
I'm sorry.
You didn't deserve to be made small at the wedding. You didn't deserve to be cornered with documents instead of love. I just miss you. I really do. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't perfect. But it was something. I folded the letter neatly, pressed it between the pages of Mark's favorite poetry book, and whispered, "We're getting somewhere, aren't we?" Still, I didn't run back. I waited. I watched. I listened. Because forgiveness isn't just about what someone says, it's about what they do next. A few weeks later, I saw it. A change. Jason started showing up alone. No Chloe, no hidden requests. He came to my cottage with coffee one Sunday and helped me fix a leaky pipe. He listened while I talked about Mark. He apologized again, not with big words, but with consistent presence. It was slow. Painfully slow, but it was real. And then came the moment I never saw coming. It was a rainy Thursday. I was sipping tea, watching the wind stir the lake. Jason called. "Mom, can I ask you something real this time?" "Always," I said. "If I gave you a list of everything I've done wrong, would you still love me?" I closed my eyes. "Jason, I never stopped. But love doesn't mean giving someone the keys to hurt you again." He was silent. "I know," he said at last. "But I want to be better. For real." And for the first time in over a year, I believed him. I didn't open the trust. I didn't promise him inheritance. But I opened my heart a crack. I invited him for dinner. Just him and me. And you know what he brought? Not flowers. Not expensive wine. He brought Chloe's apology letter. Typed, signed, humble. She said she didn't grow up with a close family and never understood how to respect one. That she was ashamed of how she'd treated me. And that she hoped one day I might teach her how to be a better daughter-in-law. If I was willing. I cried. Right there, over the roasted chicken. Not because they earned my trust back, but because they finally saw me. In the months that followed, we began a quiet repair. Not a full reconstruction, but something softer. Jason and Chloe invited me over. I declined a few times before saying yes. They didn't rush me. Chloe started calling me sometimes not about finances but recipes. She even joined my reading group once, nervously clutching a copy of The Color Purple. Did we become one big happy family again? No, but we became real. Honest. We talked about the past without hiding. I told Jason everything about Mark's letter, the $7 million, the trust. His face went pale. He looked like someone who realized he almost threw away a whole mother for a few pieces of gold. "I don't want the money anymore," he said quietly. "I just want my mom." That's when I finally forgave him. Fully. Not because he'd earned it, but because I didn't want to carry the weight anymore. And I told him something I wish I'd said earlier. You don't get to decide how I grow old. But you can decide if you want to grow with me. Today at 73, I live peacefully in my white brick cottage. I still meet my ladies at the library. I still play the keyboard every morning. And yes, I still fund anonymous projects that light little fires in dark places. Jason comes around more now. Chloe too. She calls me Ma these days. And when I fell sick last winter, it was Chloe who sat by my side for 2 nights straight. Do I trust them completely? Not yet. Maybe never the way I used to. But I love them. And more importantly, I love me. Because when Mark left me that letter, he didn't just leave me money, he left me permission. Permission to protect myself. To choose peace over pleasing. To hold on to dignity even when the world tried to strip it away. This isn't a story about revenge. It's a story about rescue. I didn't ruin Jason's life. I saved my own. And if you're out there feeling sidelined, used, or forgotten, know this. You are not too old to choose yourself. You are not too late to rewrite the ending. Moral: sometimes, peace is the most powerful revenge. Choose yourself without guilt, protect your light, and remember, you're allowed to start again at any age. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Drop your thoughts or stories in the comments. I'll be reading.